We are honored to have among us our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Arun Mishra, Judge Supreme Court of India. I would like to introduce you to my Lord, Honorable Mr. Justice Arun Mishra. Your Lordship has practiced in constitutional, civil, industrial, service and in criminal matters. Your Lordship was appointed as the Judge of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh in 1999. Continuing on your Lordship's stupendous success, your Lordship was appointed as the Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court on 26 November 2010. Your Lordship was appointed as the Chief Justice of High Court of Calcutta in 2012. Your Lordship has decided approximately 97,000 cases as the Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Calcutta. Continuing on your stupendous as well as flourishing and illustrious success, your Lordship was ultimately elevated as the Judge of the Supreme Court on 7th July 2014. I would like to quote an Urdu couplet in honor of my Lord Honorable Justice Arun Mishra. हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदवर पैदा. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Arun Mishra. Thank you.
Thanks for introducing me out of proportion, dear student. Honorable Dr. Justice B.S. Chauhan, Chairman, Law Commission of India, Justice A.P. Sahi, Judge Allahabad High Court, Shri Manohar Thairani, President Lloyd Law College, Shri Shiv Kumar, Member Law Commission, Dr. Mohammad Salim, Director Lloyd Law College, Justice Indira Banerjee, representative from Commonwealth countries, Justice Ahluwalia, Mr. Singhvi, Advocate, Mr. Venkataramani, Advocate, other judges, professors, persons from legal fraternity and dear students. As subject has already been introduced, wherefore there is a necessity of organizing this conference on freedom of speech and expression. We have attained freedom in 1947, 70 years before. We have got Constitution, source of fountain for fundamental rights, freedom of speech and expression, gives meaning to the life, including right to life. It has been expanded, right to know, right to disseminate information, now mass communication, press, media, internet. Now internet is becoming most powerful because of its reach to thousands of persons, millions of persons in a moment the Twitter is used. The media had been used by Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru, Tilak in the freedom struggle, so as to bring awareness throughout and to form international opinion as to their rights. Dandi March is an example which formed international opinion in favor of the excesses which were being committed in India. And the very purpose was taken by the media for formation of an international opinion in favor of India's freedom. That's the effect of freedom of speech and expression and its positive use. Now there is inherent dangers also. You see, this speech and expression can be towards positive side, maybe towards the negative side. Person is the same. When he is thinking positively, he will contribute to his own excellence. Development of the society, development of the nation and country. If he is negative, thoughts are negative, then what he can bring about? He can bring about disastrous results. That's why it was told, what not to speak takes lifetime together. What not to speak. What is positive, what is negative? Negativity is excluded by our constitution itself. That right has never been given by the makers of the constitution. They knew that negativity has to be stopped if the country has to progress, if the individual has to progress, society has to survive. There is no room for negative thoughts. And those were given, those 8 compartments were specified by the makers of the constitution. In the constitution, they have been specified. Those restrictions are by law and in favor of nation, progress of the nation, national integrity, and interest of the society. Interest of the society is interest of the individual. So constitution has never intended to give us misuse of this freedom of expression. Constitution never envisaged at any point of time that we should have negative thoughts, which may bring down the country or the society in any manner whatsoever, in any matter of the life, you see. There's very vast rights, interconnected, interaction is there of these rights with various rights. Freedom of expression, and it can touch fair trial, it can touch any aspects of any private life, obscenity, this, that, so many things are there, films are there, everything is covered in it, you see. There's a basic concept why for freedom of speech and expression should be there. Why therefore right to know? Because there is concept of openness of government, which is necessary for any form of democracy. If democracy has to survive, government has to be open. And the citizens have the right to know how the government functions. There has to be openness. And if freedom of speech and expression is not there, then formation of public opinion can be easily wrong and misguided also at the same time. And what it brings about is that right to know, openness, that those who govern the country have tendency to become more accountable to public, because nothing is secret. How you run the government, people should know it. But there is restriction, limitation on these rights, you see. Right to know is also subject to certain riders. We forget. We means all those who are concerned with this dissemination, this speaking, this leadership qualities, this or that, whatever may be the way, or we are advocate, have the right to express, or we may be anywhere. This freedom of expression and speech interacts with us. So we should know what are its niceties, where we should stop, what should not be spoken. You see, the freedom of expression in speech. Greater freedom is given to media or press or internet? Answer is no. What freedom is enjoyed by an individual is enjoyed alike by these media, internet, or print, press. At the same time, there are welcome developments due to globalization in various fields. People are getting the fruits of it, but those who have not been able to get the fruits have started agitating against it. Their expression their feeling should also find some expression somewhere before it becomes unmanageable. If freedom of speech and expression is used positively, greater heights can be achieved by an individual. He can strive towards excellence. There can be retardation of quality if this freedom is not there. By freedom of speech and expression, it helps an individual for self-attainment, fulfillment of one's goal. It helps in discovery of truth. At the same time, the knowledge which is gained by right to know and expression, various views, by that strengthening of decision-making process is solidified, so that the policy makers are able to take good decisions. One of the spiritual leaders has said recently, newspapers are meant for dharma, and news persons must have courage, integrity, objectivity, and they must report accurately, eschewing all extraneous consideration. Most of us wake up in the morning or go to sleep in the night after watching news. We want to have newspaper in the morning in our hand. Unfortunately, in newspapers we see what headlines: one woman raped, in what manner, in what kind of offense it was brutal. What is dharma? And it is the same repetition every other day. We start our day in the morning with the news of violence. News of dharma. What is the dharma for everybody, you see? Maybe preaching this or that religion. What is dharma for one? What is the thought for the day? What is the national spirit for the day? Should also appear on the front page. That's the way we can enrich ourselves, not by reading how the rape was committed, who enticed, in what manner rape was committed. Details are given every day by adding salt. And this is a repetition of every story. You see, I have left reading this story of violence. Just headlines are enough. What happened thereafter, same story is repeated in one way or the other. So there has to be little more. This is negative news actually. Offense are negative. We have to be, our news, our media, this entire endeavor should be towards positivity, so that we can make ourselves enriched for the day, job of the day, and particularly in the morning we should get the thoughts to inspire us throughout the day. You see, 8 kind of restrictions have been imposed for the purpose that one must respect sovereignty, integrity of the country, security of the state, friendly relationship with the foreign states. That too also is with respect to what, I will not go into those details. One cannot involve in a seditious act. Interest of the society is also kept paramount. Hence, one cannot violate public order, decency, morality. Conduct cannot be contemptuous to the court and defamatory. These are the grounds contained in Article 19(2), on which you are going to deliberate on at least 6 in various sessions, and will be touching other rights in the first session also. The constitutional provisions have found statutory expression in Section 292 of Indian Penal Code, which prevents obscenity. Decency, morality, and obscenity is not confined to sexual morality alone. It is something more than that. Penal Code does not define obscenity. Section 295A makes punishable malicious attempt so as to outrage religious feeling. Section 298 makes punishable utterances which hurt religious feeling. Defamation is punishable under Section 499. There are other provisions in other acts like Cinematography Act, which deals with the public exhibition of films for any part against interest of morality and decency is prohibited. We have such prohibitions in Dramatic Performance Act, Customs Act prohibit import and export on grounds of decency and morality. We have Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986, Cable Television Network Regulation 1995. There is no absolute right of speech. Regulation of speech is permissible was held by the Supreme Court way back in Bennett Coleman's case in 1972. Because there is interaction with the rights of others, of right of speech and expression. In Indira Jaising versus Registrar General, Supreme Court of India, the Apex Court has held that it cannot direct on judicial side an independent agency to make inquiry into conduct of the High Court judge and release it to the public because of judicial independence. Law has been developed that voters have right to know about the candidate's antecedents, assets, character, strength and weakness. However, right to privacy cannot be encroached. Even when surveillance is ordered on sufficient ground and reasonable grounds, it cannot encroach upon the privacy of an individual. Telephonic conversation is also part of the freedom enjoyed under Article 19(1)(a). Law restricting the same or taping must qualify to the grounds available under Article 19(2) of the Constitution of India. Sedition activities must be such which create public disorder or disturbance to public peace, etc. And restriction imposed under Section 144 CRPC has been upheld by Supreme Court to be a reasonable restriction. Contempt is also reasonable restriction. Advocates have no right, or press or media has no right to criticize, to make unfair criticism of a judgment. One-sided picture of the court's order cannot be given, distortion cannot be made as to the order, there cannot be any misrepresentation with respect to a judgment. Advocate is supposed to be with dignity and decorum expected from an officer of the court. Freedom of speech cannot come to your rescue if contempt is manifest, mischievous or substantial. There is no room for unfounded and baseless allegations against judiciary and its independence is one of the cherished features of the Constitution. The law imposing restriction must be precise, not vague, and it should not be capable of being misused on the ground of restrictive provisions contained in Article 19(2). Section 66A of the Information and Technology Act 2000 has been struck down by the Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal versus Union of India on the aforesaid ground of vagueness and capable of being misused. However, as already deliberated by the chairman, the freedom of internet and its mass communication power of dissemination of information requires urgent attention of the policy maker to provide law with clarity. Under the guise of use of rights under Article 19(1)(a), rights of an individual against information are violated. As there is right to know, there is equal right with an individual against information. There has to be balancing of these rights. Right to know is not unfettered. You cannot violate the right under right to know, right to information, right against information of another person, which is equally important right. If right to know is important, right to information is important, right against information is too important, which is being ignored. There is necessity so as to consider where the line has to be drawn. For that, probably there has to be special qualification attest. One who reports one who dilates on it, one who uses this liberty must know where he should stop, where to draw the lines. Otherwise, unknowingly also, if breach is committed, lines are overlapped, then unknowingly one will commit an offense or invite incitement which he never intends. So it is necessary that we should know what are our legal rights, legal literacy, as we all know in the country, at what level it is as on today. The efforts are being made through Legal Services Authority so as to go to the downtrodden and make them aware of their rights. Much less, we cannot think of that everybody is aware of these thin line between these right to know and right against information. There is fierce competition between the media houses as to breaking of the news. 24/7 news channels are there, you see. They want to achieve attention. Investigative journalism taking place. However, at the same time, they want to try an offense. Immediately it happens. You see, they fix the responsibility and brand a person as murderer. They punish them. And effect is so much drastic, you see, that reputation once lost of a person by his at pre-trial stage, even if he is honorably acquitted, was falsely implicated in the case, he can never regain that reputation back, which has been destroyed by branding him as a criminal by the media. So, responsibility on the media is more. We see, unfortunately, the complaints of paid news. Force of media and press should not be used by anyone to cater the ends elsewhere. We have come to face a situation where press and media are no more regarded as people-friendly. Earlier there was a opinion, now press has come, media has come, they are people-friendly. Now there is some kind of fear which has developed at some quarters. Why for? There should be some, because they are supposed to be people-friendly, they are supposed to be having their force, their weapon. You see, it is like atomic bomb. It should not be used like that, you see. It has to be used only for positivity, not for negative results, you see. It is such a powerful, media is so much powerful nowadays that until unless it is used to, and its channelized use is towards positivity only, and falsehood are not propagated, then only we will have the real morning in which Tagore wanted this country to awake. There has to be objective analysis, and misinformation should be avoided at all costs. We should remember that as we impart justice, but whether administration of justice is the only job of the court, it's job of the administration, it's job of the investigative machinery also. Press and media play important part in this. And they have done good job also, press and media, by exposing attempts of rich and powerful to subvert the justice. But line has to be drawn where the media trial should stop. Trial by media is not an unregulated concept. It may infringe right of an accused under Article 21. Though media has done a good job by conducting a sting operation Sanjeev Nanda's BMW driving case, when a lawyer attempted to bribe the witnesses, they made the sting operation, which resulted into 4 months debarment of 2 lawyers from practice. Accused also have a right to a fair trial, right against predetermination of the guilt by media, and his defense may be sometimes genuine, which is ignored while branding him an accused. There's need to project by freedom of expression and speech issues of public importance, issues relating to downtrodden and violation of human rights. In the matter of war reporting, which is sensitive issue connected with national security and morals of the armed forces, reporting has to be within the permissible norms. As per ancient mythology, perhaps the earlier war reporter of Grasras was Sanjaya in Mahabharata. Today reporters do not have that advantage of Divyadrashti, which gave him complete comprehensive and continuous view of the battle from the safety of royal palace. However, we have now video cameras with the reporter's microphone, which adds more authenticity to the reporting. There is equal constitutional right against information which need to be recognized and understood by all alike. Right to information is reached to level where unwanted information is sought for ulterior purpose. For example, with respect to ailment and treatment part of an individual, which is absolutely covered under right against information. And it is relayed also in our country. Very frequently this right is violated. Nobody has got right to know which ailment I am suffering, or Mr. X is suffering, or why he is suffering, what treatment he has obtained, how much he has spent. What is the right? These are all, in America, this kind of information cannot be divulged to anybody on earth, except the person nominated by the patient himself. There is a form in which person has to nominate who will be the person to collect information, etc. about him. None else than that person. Even government has got no right to know about the ailment of that person. That's the kind of right, protection of right, which has to be there, you see. There has to be balancing. And I'm giving just an example. There are several unwanted matters with respect to which nowadays information is sought. For what purpose? No good purpose is going to be public, server purpose is going to be served. But at the same time, information is asked. For what purpose? Ulterior purpose. It's a gross misabuse of right to know, right to information. Unless it is necessary in the public interest, why there should be any information given to anybody on earth about a personal affair of someone else? Unless it is affecting the public or society or the country. Person has got right to life, right to privacy also, which cannot be invaded. Ultimately, there is need to balance the right to know with right against information, and one cannot violate right of others in the garb of right to know. As various topics are going to be discussed in this conference, in various sessions, 6 sessions are there. I congratulate the Law Commission of India has taken the initiative. I congratulate in person Chairperson of the Law Commission and members, and organizers of Lloyd Law College who have joined with the Law Commission in this conference of immense importance, in which various topics are to be discussed. I wish all the success to the deliberations to be made in various sessions. Thank you.